What are we looking at here?
I'll just give you a little bit of background in case you've been in a cave. The controversy centers on Willis's professional relationship with Nathan Wade, whom she had hired as a special prosecutor in the high-profile case against Donald Trump and his allies over alleged election interference. Allegations have surfaced that Willis and Wade had a personal relationship, that they may have influenced her decision to hire him and could represent a conflict of interest. Now, it's all about when they started getting cozy, and when she hired him, he received about 300 grand from the county.
Wow.
And
I got to get to know people in the county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been claimed that Willis and Wade took lavish vacations paid for with funds from the prosecution.
Willis and Wade, doesn't that sound like a law office?
Well, they might have to go off and form their own law office.
I mean,
now.
I'm just saying, it
Willis
just sounds
and
like something advertised in like Yellow Pages.
So it raised concerns about the misuse of taxpayer dollars and potential federal crimes. So yeah, so the other side has requested that she be removed from the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're looking at now. So she has been compelled to testify, and also her boyfriend, who is the special prosecutor in this case, whom she hired. And it all comes down to, like I said, when they met. And
so this could be like a conflict of interest situation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with the election case, but this is all about does she stay on? Right.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So as we unpause here, Nathan Wade is going to walk in the door in the right corner of there's Nathan.
Oh, hi.
And we picked out some of the best highlights of today, and
he's someone you notice.
He lights up a room when he walks into it. He better be careful.
I know, right?
My name is Nathan Wade, Nathanwade.
Good morning, Mr. Wade.
Good morning.
January 8th, 2024, when I filed the motion to disqualify you and allege that you had a romantic relationship with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you updated these responses, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so
she could be the new Real Housewife of Atlanta now that her legal career is over. Yeah, I mean, she does seem like somebody that could be on a reality show, to be honest.
Right.
You know, so, hey.
Your new responses, you now changed your answer from that you didn't have any of this to you're asserting the privilege under 24-5-505, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They asked you for documents about travel with a romantic partner in December 2023. And you under oath said you did not have any of those, correct?
I did not.
Okay.
And they asked me about gifts.
Right.
I never purchased a gift for this.
She can't boing the dude she hired or vice versa. Yeah, it's forbidden, especially if you don't tell anybody about it.
I don't tell everybody about the people I sleep with.
Yeah, but you don't hire them and pay them a boatload of the county's funds.
No, that's true.
You know,
I don't do that.
And then go on. I mean, that's one thing, but then they go on cruises, at least two cruises.
Yeah, so they're acting like a couple.
They have the biggest career of both, or the biggest case of both of their careers. You'd think they'd want to be like boning up a little bit to make sure.
Okay, my question is though, again, I'm going to try and put a Valentine spin on this.
Yeah.
What if they're just in love?
They could be. Yeah.
You can't control who you love.
Although from some of the descriptions later that Fani gives, I don't think she's as in love with him.
So it's not as mutual of a relationship as we
right.
think.
Yeah. It's like a Wendy Adelson, Jeff Lacoste situation.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And they asked you about receipts for dinner, receipts for drinks, hotels, bars, and restaurants. And you said you did not have any of those.
I did not and do not have any receipts for any of those things.
And you gave this affidavit.
That would be me. I do not save receipts.
Right. Yeah.
That's honestly just something that ends up on the floor of my car.
Exactly.
So I would be kind of screwed.
Refute the allegations that I had raised.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody forced you to sign this?
No, ma'am.
You chose to sign it?
I did.
And you signed it on purpose to admit into court to refute allegations?
I did.
Aida, who does People still do. I swear. I work at an ice cream shop, and there are people that want to keep their receipt. I'm like, you're gonna write this off? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty thrilled that we do most things paperless nowadays.
You signed it specifically to prove that you were not in a relationship with Willis prior to November 2021, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You used your business credit card for these trips, correct?
I use my business credit card for everything.
Okay. Yes. You used it.
And then part of the allegations.
Okay, are you allowed? I don't mean to like run on his life, but are you allowed to use your business credit card for everything?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
How does that work?
I'm not an expert in that, but some of the allegations are, okay, he paid with his business credit card, but Ms. Willis always paid him back and paid him in cash. Piles
so
and
there
piles
is
of cash.
absolutely no documentation of her paying him back.
Exactly. That's part of the problem. And you would think if you want
that would be an accounting issue.
If you don't want the appearance of impropriety, you probably want to do everything above board.
Yeah, you at least want it like documented on paper. You could have at least put it into a spreadsheet, paid in cash.
Right.
For his tuition.
Yes, ma'am.
Used it for personal travel with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have receipts from those business credit cards that you have to file with your taxes, correct?
No, ma'am.
No.
I filed a statement.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Who keeps receipts?
Yeah.
The accountant looks at it, and the accountant says, okay, this is personal, goes over here. This is business, goes over here. Here are your taxes.
Oh, I see. So he can use the card, but he doesn't get reimbursed for the personal items.
Oh, okay.
I see. I'm like, oh, we don't use our business card for anything else.
Right.
I would get too confused.
I'll pay you back in cash. Don't worry.
Right.
I have a stapled pile of $100 bills
under my mattress.
Under my mattress. Now, another thing to note is that just before Nathan went on the stand,
look at that suit.
He's a sharp dresser.
He is looking good.
But just before he went on the stand, someone who purported to be Fani Willis's best friend testified that they started getting it on in 2019 when Fani says it happened after he was hired for the job, basically. But it's alleged that it happened a whole lot sooner.
Relationship with Miss Willis began
2022.
when?
Okay, so
that is later than 2019.
Yeah. So let's get over to Ms. Willis, and she comes in hot. She understandably is upset that her career here is basically on
the line over
on the line.
At the very least,
I mean, at the very least, she'll be removed from the case if the judge determines there's impropriety. But so she's annoyed. And
who knows what her company might do if she's removed from the case because of something like this, which means her job really could be on the line, not just with the case.
Right. I mean, she is. It's an elected position, I believe, DA.
Yeah, but can't you get booted?
I don't know.
District Attorney Fani, Fani. Last name is.
Oh, she is cocky.
Yeah.
Wow.
It gets better.
I like that color on her.
See, I
need to stop looking at clothes. That's like all I'm noticing.
It's just, she does the thing where she offers a whole lot of extra information, and it just doesn't sound truthful to me. So I wanted to see what you think.
How did you know to come into the courtroom right then?
There were people I was pacing in my office.
Okay.
And I heard someone yell, "His testimony is done." It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr.
Really?
was done,
so she doesn't look like she's dressed for running.
The line of questioning here, I guess she wasn't supposed to be watching earlier testimony.
You just says she can be impeached. See, she can lose her job.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. I was like, elected. Guess what? We can boot out anybody if we elect them in.
And she's in the peach state appropriately.
Oh. Okay, stop.
testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
I saw you looking at Nathan Wade.
Dude, yeah, he's hot.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
And this is a colleague of hers, basically. So
the one questioning her is the lawyer questioning her.
She gets questioned by both sides, but
yeah, of course, in this community, she would know them anyway, most likely. Yeah.
Start back in 2019. Yeah. So you and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. And I think in one of your motions, you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive. I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class.
Okay, so we've confirmed when you met. After that, isn't it true?
No, I need to explain this, and I think I get to explain my answers. When I met him, Judge Reeves introduced us. He handed me his business card. I'm unsure if I handed him my business card, but we exchanged information. He said, if you ever need any help, give me a call. And he walked to the parking lot.
All right.
So after that, you started dating shortly thereafter, correct?
A lie. That's one of your lies.
Okay. Do you?
Wait. Okay, she's indignant and she's mad. Why does she keep saying the lawyer is the one lying?
Right.
I mean, all she's doing is bringing up information she's been given.
She's pissed off that she is being accused of lying, but she's calling a fellow attorney a liar.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off as the best start to, your testimony. I get being angry.
Yeah. Bama's right here. A simple yes or no answer turns into her life story.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and whenever people are lying, they've got a story.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to hold my comments, but I'm not a professional attorney either.
Yeah, no, that's another thing.
I'm just a layman.
I've only done one deposition ever, but I was really bad at it. Like they had to keep reminding me to say yes instead of yeah, and or I couldn't go right. I had to say yes or no. I'm like, I don't talk that way. That's so weird.
Robin Yurdy?
I know her as Robin Bryant. I knew her. So
that's the best friend that we or the
supposed best
friend that testified that we're talking about, and she's not happy with what
she said.
Yeah.
Robin did not go to my college. She went to the college of I went to Howard University. She went to Morgan State. I met her through some people I knew. In college, we hung out a bit. Not much because she was in Baltimore and I was in Washington, D.C.
It sounds like when Stephanie Lazarus was asked when she met
about all the people she knew in college.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
But we hung out a bit. After college, I lost contact with her. I probably didn't see Robin again until maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay, pause this. So, she could literally have just said, we hung out a little bit in college, but I haven't honestly seen her since such and such a date.
Yeah. You wouldn't think you would want to.
We reconnected 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, what is with all the other things, you know?
You wouldn't think you would want to keep talking and potentially open the door for some
Not only that, she's a lawyer. She should know that.
Yeah. I have known her probably since 1990, 1991, but we have not maintained a consistent relationship that whole time.
For the last 10 years.
Renee, yes, that is the first thing I saw when she popped up. It's like she's not wearing one at all.
Oh my God.
They're just resting there.
No comment.
5, whatever you'd like to classify it as. Have you been friends with her?
I have not spoken to Robin in over a year. I certainly do not consider her a friend now. I think that she, there's a saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I think that she betrayed our friendship.
Okay, wait, who's the person on the left?
That is the lawyer that's questioning her. Who also works for the state.
It's just so weird. In like a quick glance, I thought it was a doctor because she's got like blue on and a white jacket.
Oh, yeah, she looks like a medical professional.
I'm like, is she telling you that your mom's dying? Like
2019, you all were friends, correct?
Yes, we knew each other in 2019.
During 2020, you all were friends, correct?
we were friends during that time period.
During 2021, you all were friends, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And such good friends that when you needed a place to stay, you asked her if you could take over her lease.
That's a lie.
You did
That's
not move into her apartment?
I
or her
did, but
condo?
that's not the way you characterize it is wrong.
I asked if you could take over her lease.
I did not ask if I could take over her lease.
Did you move into her apartment?
I moved into her condo in April of 21.
Oh, we have to tell it's a condo, not an apartment. By the way, I don't know the difference.
This is like when you ask your teenager to wash the dishes, but you know, they're sitting there wet and full of soap. Well, you didn't tell me to rinse the
He's
dishes.
like, I was just soaking.
It's, oh, a condo.
I'm just saying, like a condo and an apartment, most of the time they're just in a building and you have shared walls. And what's the difference?
That were that Robin met her husband. They wanted to move into another and separate place. She wanted to get rid of her condo. My father was living with me at the house. Because of this case and because of my stance on gangs, my life was being threatened regularly.
Excuse her, it's a condo. That's right. Yeah.
My father urged me to leave our home. At the same time, as luck would have it, Robin wanted to give up her lease because she wanted to move in with this new man she met.
So after denying that she took over the lease, she admits that she took over the lease.
Right, yeah.
It was just about how the question
But she
was
didn't
asked.
ask her to take over the lease.
Right.
And that's what she's
not at
getting
her
all
request.
specific about.
Time that you said you had to move out of your house because you were scared, did your dad stay there at your house?
My father was concerned. Yes, we were both concerned.
Okay, but he remained there.
My father was 80 years old. He would have been 79. He was scared to death of COVID. You have to go back to when this was. My father's an older man. I wanted him to move out. We had some discussions about him moving out, and what he decided was the risk of COVID was more dangerous than the risk of the people that were threatening.
No, this was yesterday. Her father testified today. I haven't seen any of that. Oh, let us know in the comments or the chat if you've seen that.
Yeah, has he contradicted anything she's saying about him?
I don't know.
Typical man, more worried about his daughter and his grandchildren than his own safety.
And what's the first time you went on vacation with Mr. Wade?
I think the first time we went on vacation was around April of 22. And a vacation is a stretch, but I'm trying to be comprehensive. I recall April of 22. His birthday is March the 18th. So that would have been his 49th birthday.
It is just a dime a day, Wendy. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, and thank you for your support of our channel.
I took him to like Tennessee for the day. I think we went to a museum. I think we might have stayed the night. I'm not sure. But I mean, Tennessee's kind of hard to call a vacation, but I just am trying to be inclusive. Mr. Wade is a world traveler. I'm not as versed as him. He's been to 6 of the 7 continents. And so he has both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents. So he is the one that would book the travel, but we need to be clear when we're talking about just because he booked it doesn't mean, like, I don't consider him having taken me anyplace. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize. And I took him to Belize because
gosh.
Nobody takes Fani Willis anywhere. She takes. And
she lets you pay for it.
she makes a few comments that suggest she's not fond of men, but throws them under the bus. Shall we say?
You know, I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us. And I did 50 big, very big.
I did 50 big.
Yeah, so she doesn't want to discuss his personal, and she says something else about this later. So it sounds like she's insinuating she's glad he's here with us, that he had some kind of life-threatening condition. Or something, and we go on to learn a little bit about that later.
Okay, he looks pretty healthy to me.
Yeah, so
okay.
She talks about it without talking about it.
So he called his cruise agent and he booked that through them
She
because
looks like a
he has
doctor.
a cruise agent. Right?
And
He
those look, the trim on her jacket looks like a stethoscope string.
also has a regular agent. I don't know the cruise agent's name.
So I wasn't asking about his travel agent. I was just asking
But
if
I'm
he
trying to-
paid for those.
He did not, though.
Okay.
Because the reason I consider that he did not is I gave him his money back.
So she's asking if he paid for this with his card. Well, she doesn't consider it that he paid because she eventually gave it back in cash.
I was about to ask that, but initially he paid.
Okay, I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Now, I do things with my friends a lot, okay? And if I buy tickets for where we're going, while we are in the same room, I get a Zelle or a Venmo directly from my friend.
And then you have a receipt.
Right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't pay me back for that concert way later, and
Right.
vice versa. It's like, oh, you're going to put it on your card. Okay, I'll just send you some money.
It's
you
a
know?
whole lot of unnecessary, like, you may.
She came up
you
with
would think
details that
yeah.
they couldn't track. That's all she did.
Mhm.
She's sitting there with her saggy boobs lying.
And she pays, she pays him with a pile of cash.
What the hell? What is
And-
she, gangsta?
Well,
What?
no, later on, she tells a very Charlie Adelson-esque story about why she has cash in her home.
Oh my gosh.
You want to
Because her dad's afraid of COVID or
Yeah,
something.
he called his cruise agent. Like, I think they have his card on record. They do whatever. You have to remember, he didn't just, he paid for, that initial was me, him, and his mother.
And then after that cruise, you all flew to Aruba and spent a couple days in a hotel there, correct?
Right. And his mother was not happy
He
that we left her
initially paid
behind
for that. He initially paid for that.
for Aruba. Yes, ma'am.
They left the mother behind.
Ooh, Bama says her dad answers the same way. So their stories are alike.
Oh, put together as well. I mean, you
Mm.
know, sure, you prepare for court, but yeah.
So let's talk about both of those. I know he initially paid for it. Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba. Yeah, I gave him his money before we ever
Yep,
went.
Wendy, this is the DA.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
the Fulton County DA, who is accused of improprieties about hiring her sweetheart for a sweetheart job and then going on lavish vacations, potentially at taxpayers' expense. Don't
so
know.
is
but,
Wade in any kind of trouble?
I mean, he's in less trouble than she is, but
So he's kind of like if it was a student-teacher relationship,
Yeah.
she's the teacher
I'm
in
not
this
sure
scenario.
what kind of consequences either of them could face, but whether or not she stays on this case
Yeah.
hinges on this, and then
Right.
you know that would be a whole delay and everything. So it's yeah, you would think the most important case of your life, you might want to stay away from the shenanigans.
Right.
On that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, would you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM.
No.
Okay. So
No, lady.
Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank.
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there.
Funny how she's saying that with a finger over her mouth.
Was it? Oh yeah, right.
You know,
Like, she
she's
doesn't want her to
nervous.
get away. Is
She's
it?
trying to look cocky, but she's nervous.
Is it stapled?
When you meet my father, he's going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we
It seems like you're inviting someone to break into your home.
Yeah, she repeatedly says how
No.
much cash. Where
You're
is?
only doing that if you plan on having to make a quick run.
Are you,
you
gonna,
know,
so
like-
this is thing women do. Are you going to tell me where our huge stockpile of cash is in this house before I'm dead? Or
No, it's gonna burn with the house.
were growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house. All my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to, because I don't go on many dates. But when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
okay, so
I
that
was
would-
actually told that by my mom. She's like, if he's
Yeah.
a jerk and you got to get a cab home, like always have money on you.
So Tiffie Lou and I have been boyfriend and girlfriends, well, in high school. Then we broke up and got back together later in life. But when we were in high school, I was not, how do you say, schooled in the art of treating a lady
like anything, like a person.
Yeah, I was a dumb kid. So tell them about the time that, what was I going to say? Are
you stoned?
Yeah, no, I'm not. Oh my gosh, I have to go back a few seconds here.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Something she said reminded me of that. Let's go back.
I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to. I don't go on many dates, but when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
All right,
Yeah.
so that time I took you to Denny's.
Oh
And
my gosh. That wasn't even when we were first dating. What's sad is this is like 3 years.
okay.
You were like 20.
like
This is embarrassing.
all right. Tell
Yeah,
the folks.
He asks me to go to breakfast with him to Denny's. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because someone invited me to breakfast.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, well, you know what? I only got like $5, but I'll order at least cheap enough so I can cover it if I have to. So we go to Denny's. I order my cheap ass breakfast. And then I excuse myself to the restroom. And when I come back, Andrew says, you know, I can pick up breakfast. I can cover this. And I'm thinking in my head, I thought you were going to cover it. And then I go on to say, oh, no, it's fine. Because I'm like, apparently this is an issue. And then he goes, look, I know you only have $5 and they don't run that special at this Denny. So I'll just get it. Yeah.
I had looked in your wallet.
Roma. He went and looked at my wallet when I went to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, I was such an asshole.
Yeah.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from.
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is...
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
When I was 12, I bought my crush Valentine's Day candy, but decided to eat half the box myself.
I would do that.
That's something I would do these days.
I know.
When did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is... So I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No. It's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash.
So she's worried about threats, but she's advertising that she keeps a load
All
of
this cash in her house. Not to mention, if she was smart, forget about how much cash she has lying around. As an attorney, she knows that if she's going to do this pay him back crap, there's got to be a receipt.
Right.
There has to be. She knows that if she was arguing this case, she would demand to see
she would
receipts.
use that against,
you know?
yeah,
so she's just
do.
stupid
Oh, God.
and a liar.
At all times, there's going to be cash in my house.
And you all stayed in Napa Valley and he paid for the plane tickets and the hotel?
He paid for the plane tickets and the hotel.
And what did you pay for on that trip?
I gave him much less cash that time, probably $400 or $500, and then I paid for a bunch of stuff. I think we did 2 different wine.
Oh, Wesley just walked back in the room.
Hey.
My gosh, you've missed almost the whole thing.
Well, don't worry. We haven't gotten to underwear Russ yet.
You'll have to move on to replay after this.
Yep. This is Fani Willis, the prosecutor in Fulton County, Georgia, on the election interference trial.
That you do, which are pretty expensive. I think I bought him. He likes wine. I don't really like wine, to be honest with you. I like Grey Goose.
I like Grey Goose.
Okay.
I bought him a bottle of wine while we were there, and the sippings that you do. I can't remember how many, like 4 or 5 different places you go.
Your security detail, did they take you to and from your house?
They take, well, so I haven't been able to enjoy my home.
Condo, I'm sorry.
Since March of
where you lay your head? Did they take you to and from where you lay your head?
99% of the time.
Would they take Mr. Wade to and from wherever you laid your head?
That has never in the history of ever happened, ever, okay?
Your security team has never taken him?
From my house? That's a lie.
Okay, that's a question that could be answered with a simple no, or even no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but no,
the way
instead
she
you're
goes
just
on-
calling someone a liar.
The way it goes on, it just makes me think, oh, well, I don't know now.
I'm
That's
asking
another-
if they've ever taken him anywhere.
And I'm telling you that that's never happened.
So your security team has never taken
My
Mr. Wade
security team has never taken.
It's strange, dude. Yeah, she's a district attorney. She would have a security team.
Yeah.
Mr. Wade from any place where
A
I
very prominent public figure, especially during this case.
have lived and brought.
Yeah, dude, Wendy, I agree, because the way she said it like such a snob.
That's top shelf vodka, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know what it tastes like. Let me just say that. Okay.
Never, not once, not ever.
Have they ever taken the two of you together?
To where?
Anywhere.
We've left this building and for gone to lunch, but I go to lunch so rarely that is a very rare occasion, I am sure. And let me be clear, it wouldn't just be Mr. Wade. So I'm sure my security team has taken me to lunch. Probably been a time I've left here 7 o'clock, gone to get something to eat. And I don't even know that they would have taken him or if he would have driven himself.
So it goes from never, ever
To possibly.
did they take him to, well, I can't remember if, they might have taken him.
I guess it
But-
could have happened.
That's weird.
They've taken me to do that, but we're talking very few, very far in between.
Okay. You have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one. So you filed 2 to date. Is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22. And
I haven't noticed, but now I'm going to zoom in and see.
maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed, let's see, you filed your first one. It looks like April 15th, 2022. And
Women are vicious with one another, aren't they?
Zoom in.
your second one, April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, she is getting a higher
I don't
forehead
remember
than
the
she
dates,
started with.
You're an officer of the court, and I hope you're telling the truth now.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like they each have the thing that the other one needs.
Don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020. I think he started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague. He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job.
Right?
Brilliant observation.
When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end? When did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends.
Sounding again like Stephanie Lazarus. We were good friends.
My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, he would have stopped having. I think that you have
Yeah, I
cemented.
know it's
It was just
bad.
a temporary.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't care that she wears a wig, but she's got to know it's slipping. She's
Oh.
got to know. But you can't. But if she goes to fix it, she draws attention to it for everyone.
I know nothing about these things.
You don't know about wigs. You've worn
just-
wigs.
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say June or July. I would say we had a tough conversation in August. So that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
Has he?
Wait,
So she's saying that men view the relationship over when they stop boinking,
uh-huh.
but women, it's when that tough conversation happens. So
What's the tough conversation?
I don't know. She's just
break up.
Getting in another dig when she can.
I don't even know what
Ever
she's
visited
talking.
you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you're saying either. You know?
Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie.
It is going to fall off.
Mr. Sena, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes.
Oh, she gets 5 minutes. She'll
While we're
fix it.
talking about professionalism, while we're
And this is after the 5-minute break.
talking about professionalism, she put in 3 different documents. He lived with me.
Full opportunity to respond.
In
And filed
2000
that with the court.
in 2019.
He's never been to South Fulton. In 2019, I lived in South Fulton. He has never been to my residence in 2019.
Okay, so they're asking if he was
I
ever.
agree. Is strange. The initial conversation is the tough one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's painful. That's terrifying.
So she's being asked whether Mr. Wade visited her at her residence in Fulton County
Yeah.
in 2019.
And she's saying no.
Right.
Ever, not once. Let me help you out. I lived there in 2020. He never came to my house in 2020, let alone live with me, as you put falsely in these documents. In the first 3 months of 2021, when I could still enjoy my home, Mr. Wade never came to South Fulton, and it is certainly a lie that he lived with me.
She's a little bit like Trump in that she says way more than she has to on the stand. She's sassy, just like Nancy Brophy. Yeah.
What's crazy
Shout
is
out to Nancy Brophy.
the Wade guy, he went up and was smiling and kind of engaging with the lawyer.
Yeah,
and she went up on attack from the beginning.
He clearly didn't want to be there either, but
Yeah,
he was
but-
respectful.
Yeah, exactly. And she
just-
came up angry.
right.
You know?
He ever visits you at a place that you resided?
Okay. I don't understand. You're about to give me guys. In 2020, I
she's-
lived in South Fulton.
Okay.
That's the only place I lived in South Fulton. That's before I had to abandon my home, Judge.
All right.
And at my
Well,
home
I
in
think we're
South
gonna clarify
Fulton,
this. We'll break it down.
he never came there, okay? So if you don't come someplace, you can't live there.
Ms. Willis, I'm going to have to caution you. This is going to be the first time I have to caution you. We have to listen to the questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony.
So she's just been admonished by the judge.
Yeah, I'm like, oh gosh, this is what they do. They basically do ask the same question different ways. That's what they do to try and trip up the facts.
Right. And then she's offering all this other kind of
and then she's mad that they
information
keep asking the same question.
Yeah.
Mr. Wade.
Because she's not giving very clear answers.
But the thing is, she's the lawyer. She knows how it works.
Oh, yeah.
Why is she acting so surprised?
Well, she's a politician as well. So,
Oh, Sparkles got here.
Hey, Sparkles. Welcome.
Hey.
No worries. Hope you enjoy the replay. And we're thankful you're here.
Did he ever visit you at the condo that you leased from Miss Yurdi?
He visited that condo, yes.
He did.
Yes.
Lie. You don't. Why would you do a mouth exercise? Because you're trying to distract from their
interesting.
face.
You've been watching body language videos, haven't you?
No, I'm just a really good liar. That's all.
I got you. Right. Yeah. The tongue poke in the cheek.
Yeah,
is
you're
never,
nervous, you're uncomfortable, and you're trying to act like you're cool.
Or she could be angry, right?
No, she's faking angry. If she's
Ah,
angry enough, then they'll take her seriously.
I see.
Did he ever spend the night at that condo?
No.
Just visited.
Yeah, but he did visit for sure.
So you have no proof of any reimbursement for any of these things because it was all cash, right?
The testimony of one witness is enough to prove a fact.
So my
Are you
question was,
telling
do
me
you
that
have
I'm
any
lying to you?
proof?
Is that what you're intimating right here?
I'm asking if you have any proof that
Why
you
don't
paid.
you just answer the freaking questions?
She's-
Write it on a napkin?
She's saying
something?
My own testimony is the proof.
Yeah.
Are you calling me a liar? Well, Fani was calling her a liar.
That's why we're here.
Yikes.
The proof is what I just told you.
You have no written proof. Is that correct?
So I have some, probably some transactions like in Belize. I probably spent $500 on my card in Belize. I spent $800, I can't remember, $900 on each of our tickets to go to Belize. I did the $700. I probably got some minor expenses in Aruba that would be on a card. But for the most part, for those trips, other than, so the 2 cruises, I gave him money for those before we ever left.
2 cruises and a trip to Belize.
And that's all work related?
Well, I mean, she presumably should be working, I would think.
Well, he used the business credit card for the trip.
Oh, yeah. He uses that for everything.
Because they were pre-booked. Let me answer.
Well, the question was if you had any written proof. And so
I've answered you that I've had written proof.
We can move to the next question if you've answered if you had any written proof, and that was my question.
I want to make sure that we're clear that for the 2 cruises,
Judge, I asked if she gave him written proof.
We're not going to talk over each other. Ms. Merchant, she answered your question, so we can ask the next question. Ms. Willis and Ms. Cross will have plenty of opportunities to let you clarify your answers when it's her turn.
Okay, yeah. So she was asking the same question that had already been answered, but in the flurry of responses.
But she's not giving a direct answer in general.
Yeah.
Are you aware that Fulton County requires you to disclose any relationship with someone that you're doing business with?
I'm not aware, and I know often that things are confused with state constitutional officers in county, but I'm not aware.
Who in the prosecution team knew?
Now, this is another lawyer from the same team. Or no, this is the lawyer from the defense, I believe.
Of your personal...
From Trump's side.
Right, okay.
Relationship, and now I'm talking romantic with
Which
Mr.
is
Wade.
technically her team. She's defense for Trump, right?
Fani Willis?
Yeah.
No, Fani Willis is for the prosecution.
Oh, I thought, okay.
She had just been questioned by her own colleagues, and now.
So that's how she was talking to her own colleagues, calling them a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So, sir, I am extremely private.
All I ask is who knew. It's not, the answer is no one knew, that's fine.
No.
I ask you who knew.
You can answer it and then explain, Ms. Willis.
I am very private. When I supervised Mr. Body and Mr. McAfee, they didn't know who I was dating, but I can assure you I was dating somebody. So that I kept something private, that's my private life, is not any mystery to anyone.
You did.
Yeah, but I mean, that would totally be the case if she hadn't hired him for this huge job and paid him, out of county funds. That's the issue. I mean, we don't care who you're, with.
Didn't inform anyone on the prosecution team that the individual that you had chosen to lead the prosecution team had a personal relationship with you.
So
Is that correct?
That's inaccurate. Your question is inaccurate.
What?
Because you stated that the person I chose, we had a personal relationship. So we had a friendship. We have all these distinguishing factors. Remember, when I chose him in November of 21, first of all, let's get this straight. Mr. Wade was not actually my first choice. That's no insult to him.
Your Honor,
no, it is you because of the way you phrased the question. You said, when I chose him, I didn't inform people of a personal relationship. We have defined personal as romantic.
Seriously?
Didn't she pay for his divorce? Oh, really?
Whoa!
I hadn't seen that factoid, but
in cash.
It was one of those bundles of cash she had laying around.
It is an inaccurate way to state the question.
Then I will certainly restate it so it is very accurate.
Okay, and please do not yell at me.
All right. Good night, Renee.
Good night, Renee. Yeah, it is getting late out there.
So that we're clear, the physical relationship ended pre-indictment.
And is that when you were talking about the tough conversation?
But I'm not sure that the tough conversation didn't happen until after, but the physical relationship.
Did she ever explain what the tough conversation is?
No. Well, she goes on to detail an argument they had, I believe.
Sure, if you ask Mr. Wade, because he's a male, he would say we ended June or July because physical contact ended then. Just in my mind, being a woman, it's over when you have that hard conversation. I just think women and men think differently.
We're just like baboons. I mean, we, us men.
You drag your little hands around the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we just care about the physical, right?
Romantic relationship ended before the indictment was returned, yes or no?
To a man, yes.
Well, To a man, yes. To you, no.
She's explained this, Mr. Sadown. She's explained this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that? Or was it just a coincidence?
Mr. Let's go on and have the conversation.
I've just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money.
Answer a question.
Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion.
The wig even knows she's lying.
It wants no part of this.
It's like, I need to get out of this.
A man is not a plan.
I know.
And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Last area, briefly.
Yes, sir.
You had contact with Mr. Wade in the year 2020, correct?
Ooh, I had some contact with Mr. Wade.
Would you explain when you say some contact? Please tell us, talking about 2020.
I had some contact with Mr. Wade in 2020. One of the reasons your allegations are so preposterous, or Ms. Merchants that you have joined, is...
Ma'am, I didn't ask you about the allegations. I asked you about your contact. That's all I ask you, okay? I appreciate that you want to say something, but I'm interested in, did you have contacts with Mr. Wade in 2020? And your answer so far has been yes, correct?
Very limited contact because Mr. Wade had a form of cancer that makes your allegations somewhat ridiculous.
All right, Sparkles has suggestions for us.
I nominate Wesley John Holmes and Nunya and Bama Green Eyes. The strange one. Oh, yeah, for possible mod openings. Yeah. You want to hand out some wrenches over there, Tiffie Lou?
I don't even know how. That's your job.
You got to be careful because you can accidentally ban them while you're doing it. But let's see. Put user in timeout.
You've done that before, too.
Ooh, we don't want to do that, do we?
Okay, see, he doesn't even know how to show me how to do it.
No, you could do it on YouTube. So we'll you can go over there. But yeah. Excellent suggestions. Yes, we will get on the wrenches right away.
I do appreciate the characterization.
I'm not going to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man.
Oh, well, since you said it slow, that helps. He heard what you said.